Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
Welcome in, friends, to another episode of The Good Brothers. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, as always with the Good Brother himself, Alex Mercado. What's going on, Good Brother?
What's up?
You know, it's a really cool week. Guess what? We got to see Black Panther. You ready to talk all about it? We've been hyping this up literally for about, 16 episodes now that we were ready for
Probably
this day.
from the first episode. When was the first episode? October? So, yeah.
Yeah, so
definitely from there.
Finally,
that's right
here.
when the first trailer
so
came out.
let's hype it up just a little bit before we get into our thoughts of the new Marvel Cinematic Universe movie right before Avengers Infinity War. Before we get to Wakanda, don't forget to like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. We're on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on iTunes, itunes.com/Mercado Airwaves. And of course, subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mike Mercado 2333. So it finally came. We finally got to see King T'Challa, Wakanda, everything Vibranium. It was maybe the biggest release in Marvel since Civil War. And Alex, Good Brother, go ahead. The floor is all you. What did you think about Black Panther?
It's kind of hard to put into words what you think. I think it's. I don't know. It's tough because it was literally almost a perfect movie.
Right.
It is it's hard. It's one of those movies where everyone went with expectations of man, this needs to be almost a perfect movie, and it was almost a perfect movie. It was everything you wanted and more. The acting was phenomenal. Directing was phenomenal. Set pieces were phenomenal. Everything was great about it. And it's hard coming out of a movie like that being that was everything I wanted and more, and I don't know how to feel about it. And you're just trying to let me sleep on it. I don't want to jump to conclusions. But it's Janelle Monique, I think, said it best. This is a movie we need. Men will cry. Women will jump in arms. It's important to everyone. And I don't even know where to start. What was the best part? Because it was also good.
So before we go ahead and really dig deep into this movie, we're going to go ahead and give them a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At this point, spoilers heavy, whatever.
We probably should have said spoilers, then the countdown.
Well, no, now they know that the spoilers is here because I counted down and I gave them spoilers. So they had 2 different sections.
Because people are going to be like,
all right, we'll do it again, guys. You see, I'm giving you 30 more seconds. Spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At this point.
We'll drag it out another 5 seconds. You've had a minute. Right. Don't be stupid.
So, in general, before we get anywhere, Michael B. Jordan to me, my initial reaction is he is the equivalent of what Black Panther was in Civil War. He is just the path of destruction and a force from beginning of the movie to the very end. And to me, he's the glue to this movie, and just the ensemble cast that just, you could tell there's so much love and passion, just the way they deliver their lines and the set pieces, like you were saying, the music. You could tell that this was a project that everybody knew. That not only that they had to get right, but they had to do it for the right reasons. And I think it shows through the screen. So when I say what sticks out to Black Panther to you, let's start there. What stuck out to you from this movie?
I think the biggest thing for me is Killmonger was one of the Michael B. Jordan's character. Because people were arguing, is he better than Loki? I think so. I think he's the best bad guy in Marvel
as an
in the
arc,
MCU.
And as a character study.
He did what in one movie what no Marvel villain has yet to be done. And you know how I feel. Marvel is terrible with bad guys. Not just bad, terrible. I thought
a lot of people would agree with you.
I thought Baron Zemo was probably one of the worst. That's what made Civil War not great to me. Is because Baron Zemo was so bad in
conversation.
it.
Yeah.
But Michael B. Jordan was perfect.
Yeah.
You felt bad for him. At the same time, you knew he was evil. Yeah. You knew he came from a place of good intentions with bad morals. And you can't blame him because in the story you always find out that his dad was killed by his brother, T'Challa's dad, the original Black Panther, or not the original, but the
Black
one previous.
Panther that we seen even Civil War.
The previous one, yes. And that spirals out because they decide, him and Forrest Whitaker's character decided just to leave him. And another great thing, every person is in this movie.
Yes, every major black actor and actress in Hollywood right now is in this movie.
Yeah, we'll keep talking about that. But I think what stuck out to me was the powerful women in the movie.
Yes.
Because not at one point did you be like, man, they're forcing women down a girl. You just oh shit, it's badass. And then you look around and you're like, oh yeah, that wasn't well. It was a second thought. And it meant a lot, though. Michonne Don't know the actress's name. I'm gonna
But
call her
anybody who's
Michonne.
watching The Walking Dead, yeah.
To me, like you have Killmonger. She stood out the most to me because she steals so many scenes. You look at this movie, you're like, man, it's Black Panther. Is Chadwick Boseman even like? Yeah, he's the main dude, but like, man, he wasn't in half the movie probably, and I don't even care because the characters they set up, Wakanda itself, the mother, the sister, even the one random CIA agent did his part so well. But I think the powerful women, the guard, really sold the movie to me. All the tribes were great. Like I love the gorilla tribe. Like at the end, like I think that's
really cool.
Love the gorilla tribe. I love how those guys are. Like the traditions they keep. Like it was very like in the like Wakanda, very modern. Yeah, it's traditional.
You want to know something cool that you're saying about tradition and just the way it looks? Obviously, we're Hispanic, so with Coco, that's what they did a really good job of, is making you like almost get hyped for the ancestry and like almost the stuff that we've forgotten because we're part of this new world. And what they've done, what Ryan Coogler's done in Wakanda, is make you feel, what if we never lost those values and it just came with us throughout this time?
Oh yeah, like it's pride in your values.
Yes.
Like, and we live in a country where, God forbid, you're proud of something. But even Coogler said, like, this movie's for you, black people. Like, you can raise your arms and be as loud as you want.
Be proud.
Be proud of what you are, because that's
and it got us hype. It was like, hell yeah.
I even told Nicole, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go on Ancestry.com. If I can just get 2% African, which we're brown, we got to be 2%. Then I'm gonna own that.
Michael B. Jordan makes a great point. It's like, you know what? The whole point of the movie is, you know, him being left behind.
He's from L.A. Like, so he sees black people in a different sense than Chadwick Boseman saw black people.
And the way Wakanda doesn't help outside affairs, and the way he really, you know, just emphasizes that idea of like not being helped and the oppression, and it's just such a
like you do it from here. Like black people are kings and queens, and you run everything, and you're well fed and you're respected. And then he's like, but like that's one area the whole world doesn't see it.
And he's like, you know, Chadwick Boseman says, you know, I only take care of Wakanda and people from Wakanda, my people. And he's like, well, didn't all people come from the motherland, which is here?
And that's a great point.
And like, I'm gonna give a shout out. Nicole brought this point up, and I got goosebumps thinking about it. Sucks. Well, yeah, I know the rivalry WrestleMania is coming up. Nicole versus Alex. Here's the thing, though, Alex. When Michael B. Jordan at the very end, the way he says is like, I'd rather die like my ancestors who jumped off the ship than die.
Like, put me in the ocean. He basically dies, and they could save him because they're cousins. Like he doesn't want to kill him. Yeah, but at the end of the day, he even says like, I'd rather. You know, what are you going to do? Lock me up then? Like, I don't want to live in chains. Like, put me in the ocean with my ancestors that died like real rebels. Like, they died free.
Since we're giving the complete love to Michael B. Jordan right now, why don't we give a shout out to some of the amazing cast? Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Danny Gurira is Michonne, Forrest Whitaker. How do you pronounce his name, Alex? Daniel Kaluuya?
Kaluuya, yeah.
Obviously.
It's a lot easier to pronounce, I think, than it looks. I feel like we've always looked at it like, man, that's hard. And you hear, you're like, oh, okay, you just got to kind of know it.
The ageless wonder, and Angela Bassett.
What was great about this movie was some Sterling K. Brown. Like, what was great about some of these guys.
Shout out to Sterling K. Brown.
This all was filmed before Get Out. Before Get Out was Get Out was out, but before it was the huge thing it was. Before even the Oscar nom.
And before Sterling This Is Us was big.
Before the Emmy evening. Like, this is just becoming big. Like this was it was like time. Right after. Well, they cast it before you, but they started filming like a little after. So, but even then, like these guys didn't come big till maybe the end of last year, where now they're getting the award hype. Now they're getting like, these are some of the best characters in TV movie history.
And like you were saying, we have Flores Kusumba, who plays Black Panther's sister. She's phenomenal.
She's great. Spoiler. The post credits, she's good with Bucky.
Yes,
we knew we were gonna get Bucky,
who's called White Wolf. Everybody. Which, for anybody who knows Black Panther, he's kind of one of those nemesis that a lot of people thought Michael B. Jordan was, because there's a huge rivalry with that character, just like the Gorilla Man in the mountains.
Yeah,
like
I think that's more of a little niche. I think you were very hyped on that. I don't think it's gonna pay off as much as you wanted to. Because I'm a nerd, I know about
that. Yeah, obviously,
like that's cool.
But I also think that
I think they did a great. I think they did a great job with this movie. Of like midway through the movie, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, man, this is barely a Marvel movie. Like, this is just a good movie. It's very Logan-esque, where you're like, this or Dark Knight. It doesn't need to be in a series of movies.
Yeah.
And even though they only had one post-credit scene that even connected slightly. Like, I think throughout the whole movie, you get one reference with the white boy. They're like, oh, we have another white boy. Like, the sister is taking care of the CIA agent who gets shot.
Remind me to get back to that, too.
And so she mentions, another white boy. That is the only reference in the actual movie you get that there's a wider universe. And it's not even big. Like, you can watch this whole movie and never watch another Marvel movie, and you will be so satisfied.
It reminds me a lot of the original Captain America, where you're like, it's its own universe within the universe. The 3 Captain Americas. I think whatever we get for Black Panther, especially if Kluger stays on board, we're in for something special really fast.
I would say more Guardians.
Sure, yeah, especially since it's within the same director.
Yeah.
And, Sterling K. Brown, like you said, Winston Duke, who plays the Gorilla Man,
who is the king of the Gorilla Man.
And then here's what I want to say. All that being said, an amazing black cast, and then they get Andy Serkis and Martin Freeman, who get a pass because, Lord of the Rings. But not just that. Andy Serkis, who has such clout in Hollywood, they basically use him to establish the threat and establish like the rift within the community. But for them to not rely on Andy Serkis or Martin Freeman,
was like he felt real, like he felt just chaotic, like almost like not Joker-esque.
He
but
didn't
like,
seem superhuman.
He wasn't like a super villain. He was just a crazy dude, like a crazy missionary, a crazy merchant. Like, and his story obviously is like he's the only guy, Black Panther's father, T'Challa couldn't get him. Like he's the only white man to ever escape and see Wakanda for what it really is.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize, I think people went in, like, all of us, like, well, how are they going to explain Wakanda? Because, like, we don't know too much about it. And it's basically, like, it's hidden, So it's a hidden world. Like, no one, like, to the outside world, it's a third world country.
Yes.
And hidden within it's the greatest country. It's the most thriving country in the world.
And it has this weird, like, actually, as we're recording this in the studio, where there's a preview for Black Panther, and one of the cool things, too, is there is this almost espionage overtone to it, where they're world travelers, and there's something about you can't let this secret out that the Marvel Universe, even with the Captain America movies, has done a great job of, like, the paranoia and the suspense without ever, it's such a big global thing, but yet it still feels at home. We felt like Wakanda was the story. Like in all Batman movies, Gotham is the story.
Yeah.
Wakanda was as much part of that story.
That's a good example. And, like I said, just the secondary characters, just like you can watch, like, if you take Black Panther out of this movie, it's still an amazing movie.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy.
Absolutely.
And I feel like we're not talking about enough about Chadwick Boseman, but I feel like it goes saying stuff like, that's his role. He's so subtle. He doesn't yell. He doesn't scream.
Let's take time right now. Let's talk about Chadwick Boseman. Let's do it. Where do you think
he's like? It's almost like he's James Bond.
Has he become? I think, and I talked about this a few episodes ago about where I think Marvel is leaning towards. I think it's pretty easy to say that this is who they're hoping it's their new Chris Evans.
He's your
new Cap.
he's your Cap.
He's your new Cap.
He needs to be your new Cap.
Yeah.
And obviously you're gonna build that relationship in Infinity War.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But like it's the subtlety of him, the suaveness of him, the humor in this movie is like, because I think our biggest problem with Thor Ragnarok or Guardians 2, even Spider-Man Homecoming, which I didn't love, sometimes the humor was very forced.
Sure.
This felt natural. This felt like people were having real conversations of like, no, I've had that conversation. Like
the chemistry was off the chart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just chemistry alone and how important it was in director and
how much fun we're having in there. We're invested in this movie.
I like that stuff because it felt normal. Like
yes.
Michael B. Jordan doesn't have an African accent. He's not from Africa. He's from LA.
He's from Oakland.
So he's got an Oakland tone to him. Like he does his. I think the problem maybe that we're gonna give him Michael B. Jordan eventually is like he's so charming the way he is. You're like, but he's always Michael B. Jordan. He's like Will Smith though. Like I'm not complaining. I'm just saying like he's almost like. If you watch him in Creed, he's pretty much the same person he is in Creed. Now he's in the Black Panther universe. And it's fun to see like him be the main guy.
Yeah.
Like, and he's so ruthless.
It's his movie. Like it's almost
it's his origin story as much as it is.
Yeah.
Well, because technically Civil War is our first, and like there is no origin story of Black Panther really.
No, this is kind of it. Like this is
like we still like you could still do a whole origin if you really wanted to about like him as a child, but you don't have to because he's just he has such a standard to himself, and he walks with like Chadwick Boseman does such a good job of like I already know who he is.
Yeah,
like I get it.
Yeah.
I get him. I'm on board. I'll follow you anywhere.
There's a strength to it. There's certain actors that when command the screen without ever having to speak, and like Idris Elba is the one that always pops to mind where it's like he doesn't have to say a word. He walks in and you know right away what you're getting. I think another one's like Javier Bardem, Benicio del Toro, like these actors who just command a presence. And I want to give a lot of love to these two guys. I mean, we've been talking great about Michael B. Jordan, but Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, Fruitvale Station, Creed, Black Panther, these two have
like Coogler really hasn't had a miss yet. Like that's very rare for a person to have this many movies. And it's not like he had like just indie films like Fruitvale Station. Like he's gone bigger and bigger. Like, he went bigger with Creed. This is probably his biggest movie ever. And we can talk about it now. I'm telling you, this movie will make in a 40 weekend over $200 million.
And you and I have always been on the higher end of this. I think you and I just never really knew where it was going to land, and the fact that I think we didn't.
We wanted the reviews. The reviews had to be as perfect as they are, and they're as perfect as they are. Like.
And we didn't even take it to effect until like we started thinking about it, President's Day, and the weather. At least here in the Midwest, we had a really bad week of weather, and now it's kind of subsiding.
We're going to be in the 40s. We're going to be, and that's a Midwest summer almost.
What I had in mind, and we're going to take just 2 seconds really fast. The horrific news that came out of Florida. I didn't know if it was going to affect ticket sales. If people wanted to go.
I said, I don't want to talk about it personally, so I'm not going to, because I have a side point to it. So I think we should just move on from it.
Go ahead, yeah.
So
your show.
Like I said, $200 million. I think $200 million. I think that's because even the professionals have it $180 million, and that's them playing it safe for a 40 weekend. Because they already announced Deadpool. Let's compare it to Deadpool in February. Deadpool Rated R movie made $12.5 million, ended up going to make that weekend about $170 million. This movie's already made in Thursday night opening box office $25 million.
Oh, it's gonna crush. Yeah, and I was
on a Thursday
at the screening we were at. Like, I was looking at the audience, and it's a mixed crowd. It's a mixed crowd because you have a generation that's looking. Why is this movie so important? Then the generation that knows why it's important.
And then you also have the whole point of it. It's a Marvel movie. Like, a lot of people need to just watch Marvel movies.
Marvel
Studios, it's a continuous show. I need to watch the next one.
It's like Netflix.
Like, wait a minute. This is the buffer till Infinity War, so I need to know. And maybe...
And I counted 8 screenings, by the way.
I counted screenings. And here's the thing. My brother Mike is kind of a cheapskate sometimes, and we never really get to see the big theater. We went to the ultrasound. We went to the biggest one. The one right below IMAX, basically. Yeah.
That's the one we go to for big movies.
So it's a couple extra bucks. Yeah. It was packed. Yeah. And it's not like when we went to see Justice League, it was packed. It was a normal theater. There weren't as many screenings. Like, obviously, opening night was going to be big. No, this was big. Like, people, like, usually when we go to these bigger screenings, you see some empty seats because people don't necessarily want to pay the extra little money for the more sound or the bigger screen. No, it was sold out. Like, seat to seat, sold out. People were respectful. People were into the movie, and this is a 2 hour plus movie that doesn't
a heavy 2 hours.
That like usually you'll start seeing people kind of start getting a little antsy.
Yeah,
you didn't. Like, people were so into this movie. Now let's start talking. Do you have any negatives about this movie? Because I have
I do have one negative, and it goes back into the fact that as strong as the movie is, and as strong as the depth of talent is, I feel Andy Serkis and his character is completely used as a plot device, which is fine because then you don't waste that on Michael B. Jordan. You don't waste a bad guy card on that. Like, you still have
yeah. No, I
but I feel like what is a 2 hour movie could probably have been 15 minutes shorter.
So no,
tighter,
I agree.
Tighter, not shorter. Tighter.
No, that's where I agree, because I don't think it's Andy Serkis' problem. I just think, and like Harloff said it too. Like, there's just like maybe a 5 minute scene here, a 5 minute scene here, and 5 minutes. Like, it was the movie probably like what 2 hours 15 minutes.
Yeah,
could have been 2 hours.
Right.
And I would have been fine, because there is a part where right before Michael B. Jordan comes to challenge where you're like, it did slow down just a t-bit, people. Like, when I say just t-bit, like, and maybe that's part of the movie what makes the ending better is you do slow it down. Like, the whole WrestleMania thing where, like, you can't just go hot.
Right.
Like,
everything,
you need a cool down.
And it's building.
And even the cool down, like, you're getting good scenes with Lupita Nyong'o and Chadwick Boseman. You're getting good chemistry between them. So, like,
their chemistry's off the charts.
I don't personally think it was a waste, but I do remember sitting in the theater being like, okay, now I'm feeling a little tired again. Oh, nope, I'm hyped again. He came to challenge.
Well, I will say about while the movie could have been a little bit tighter. Every movie can. Yeah, right. And one thing I do enjoy though is they did take the time to say Wakanda is important, just like Gotham. They let you know every little corner, every detail. Why did they do that? Why? How can somebody just fly over there and they see farm people and they're like, oh, that makes sense. Like, even though they're farm people, that's just a tribe of the farm.
So
people,
our homeboy Kalua, there's 5 tribes. He runs the first tribe. His tribe is kind of like the hide in plain sight one where they're the warriors.
That's the way of putting it.
They have the big rhinos and the animals. The rhinos were awesome.
I love the rhinos.
So they're the face, like they're the first defense.
Yes.
And even their capes, like these fabric little ponchos, are shields actually.
And I did not see
everything.
That
all their clothes is made of vibranium.
Yes.
And
the vibranium scenes too. The CGI looks
the
phenomenal.
fighting was probably some of the best fighting I've seen in any Marvel movie. Like, it's up there with Civil War. It's up there with Winter Soldier fight scenes.
Absolutely.
Where you're like, man, those fight scenes are great. Like, the ending with the tribes fighting each other, and it's funny because obviously Michonne's character and Kaluuya's character, they're married.
They're married. They're lovers.
They're loves. And you get that at the end, and like everything pays off.
Now, let me ask you this, especially at that ending when we're watching that war scene. Did you not get a little excited knowing that in 4 months that's going to be the scene of where
that's what you're excited for. You're like, man, I cannot wait to see all these people versus all the Thanos people and the Hawk and Iron Patriot and Cap and Bucky and just all those characters. You know, like again, Michonne. I'm gonna keep calling her Michonne. People, her scene in South Korea.
Great scene.
I love it when they're just shooting the car and he's like, it's made of vibranium. And they're sitting there like, she's just grunts, so primitive. Throws her shield, stops the car, rides a door down the highway. Like, it's amazing. Like, she was honestly like saying that, like, she probably was my favorite part other than Black Panther. Like, I know yours was Killmonger.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but she was so funny and charming, and like, she's the best part of Walking Dead too. So like, I shouldn't be surprised because she really does steal the show there.
Yes,
and she's one of the stealers of this movie at this point, but like so many people do.
I would say she's definitely my second favorite. I said this when Marcos and Nicole were heading back to the house. My least favorite character, and this is just because I love all of them, but my least favorite in that list is Black Panther. And you know what it reminds me a lot of? It reminds me a lot of The Dark Knight. I'm not saying the same movies, but this idea that what makes a great Batman movie is when Batman's not the best character. Is everything that well surround him because there's so much richness to what surrounds him.
Oh, but it's
that's
also
what Black
like
Panther
it's like he's like a center, a good center. Like he's the captain of the team. He's the most important player.
Yes.
He might not get all the visuals. He might not get all the praise. But without him, none of it works.
Yeah, they're gonna, and here's the thing.
Like I said, he's the Chris Evans of this. Like where he may not be the flashy Iron Man, he may not be the fun Hulk or the pretty Thor, but he's the most important character without having to look like the most important character.
And I think it's funny you bring that up. I think the future is so bright for this character, especially. A lot of people, you could do research and look back at the richness that is him. He wasn't one of the top, most popular characters as we moved on. A lot, just like a lot of these characters were in the beginning.
Marvel in general,
other than like the top four, the normal ones. Even X-Men and Spider-Man, that was pretty much
X-Men, exactly. None of the ones the MCU had,
right? Which is crazy.
Which is funny. Like Fox and Sony had it,
so
and
amazing.
Obviously, side subject, that deal came out that Sony could have bought in 1998. Could have bought all the MCU before it was the MCU.
Unreal
for $25 million. Hindsight being 2020, though, at that time, what came out? Batman Forever.
Oh yeah,
come on, dude. I mean, like
right
Batman and Robin. Like comic movies were not good. This is before Spider-Man, people, or X-Men. Like, so yeah, like I don't. Let's just call hindsight 2020. No one was gonna buy superhero movies back then, especially Iron Man.
That's the idea, though, is that there's such a rich history, and they can do so much with this character. It could be anything they want. And they, just like Captain America, where it's like, he does have some bad guys, but like, they're not the rogues gallery that some of these top tier guys have.
Like, you got main. Well, even Black Panther, probably even less. Like, does anyone really know, like, Black Panther's main people? Like, the one thing
Killmonger and Claw. And they just did them.
It's Claw. Like, even Claw is probably bigger than Killmonger. So, like, and spoiler, they kill both of them, but it's, it's Marvel. They can reset the whole thing. It doesn't really matter. That's not important. What I think is funny is like people really are jumping on the whole thing of like, oh well, this isn't the first black superhero. Like we had Blade, we had this, and I'm
shout out to Blade,
and I'm like,
Blade
yeah,
2.
Blade was great.
Yeah,
there's a difference. So I'm like, this is the first black superhero in comic, the first black superhero in general.
Right.
This is the first black cast. Like there are 2 white actors in this movie that has speaking roles, and they do a great job. I'm like, this is it's a black movie,
black director,
music, black director, black like. It is for the African culture.
You want to talk about
and not even African American culture, the African culture.
Well, let's talk about pop culture. Like that's a very interesting point. Like, say what you will about the quality of the Marvel films; they're amazing. Culturally, though, it's more of a pop culture thing. Like it's a Hollywood thing. It's a glamour thing. This movie is one of their first ones that's very, very aware of what it means. Wonder Woman's kind of was the one that really started that trend. I think Black Panther perfected that idea of like your satirist.
It's a little different because like women have been represented a little bit more in movies previously.
Sure,
like,
okay, sure.
This is like even like when's the last time you saw a movie like this that wasn't about history or slavery?
Right. No, that's a
Like,
good
we
point.
had that argument all the time. I'm like, yeah, the people name out like, well, what about 12 Years a Slave? Slave movie.
Slave movie.
Brother, slave movie. Selma, Martin Luther King, like all these great black movies. You're like, well,
And then the rest of them are all
they're
Will
talking
Smith.
about they're talking about history and this. I'm like, this was just a action packed movie. Like I said, it's like James Bond almost. Like it's just an important action adventure movie. And it's important because look at the actors they got to play. Like they took it so serious. Look who they got running the album. One of the best
Kendrick
young
Lamar.
black rappers there is today, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And like that's how
Phenomenal
serious they took this.
music in this
like
movie,
Forrest
too.
Whitaker's in this movie just to be in it. And I'll say this because everyone knows how I feel about Rogue One. He is actually in this movie, people. He's not just in it; he's in it. Like,
Oh
he's
yeah,
important.
no, this means something.
And
to him.
I told you at the end of the movie, I'm like, it's kind of shitty that like he got a credit with Forrest Whitaker. I'm like, damn, Rogue One gave him a full credit, and he was in there for like 5 minutes. He was in this movie for the whole damn movie till the end.
I'll be honest with you though, as we keep talking about it, it just brings a smile to my face that this movie really did land, and it does the heart well, knowing that people talk about superhero fatigue. There's no fatigue for good movies.
No, I don't think that's not exactly. It's not their super fatigue. It's like people don't want to pay money for crap like Baywatches and like because look at Baywatch and Jumanji. It's not fatigue of The Rock. It's just hey, make good movies, we'll watch it.
And he's gonna
make bad movies, dude. We're not gonna watch it. Like I think that's for everyone now. Like yeah, exactly. Like you said, like it's not fatigue, people. It's just don't make crap. Don't like Justice League. I love Justice League. I do. I still think it's a great movie. Don't come out going into it like saying, oh, well, we fired 2 directors. Oh, well, we did this too. Like you went into this thinking like, man, all I hear is positive, more positive, super ultra positive.
Right.
And then Hollywood black actors came together and said, no, we're going to help too. So even people who aren't in it are like, oh, I'm going to buy a screening. Oh, I'm going to hype this movie
There's a
up.
screening right now in Chicago of Get Out and Black Panther back to back.
Yep.
I mean, come on.
Like people like Chance the
unreal.
Rapper, Titus O'Neil, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. She was in Shape of Water and Hidden Figures.
Oh
and
my
The Help.
goodness! Yeah, she won the Oscar.
She won it. She's like,
we'll give her a shout out next week.
yeah.
When they come out. Just remember. Just
she
remind
like
me.
these people are coming out and they're throwing it in there saying, no, like this is important. So like even people who weren't involved in the movie, Black Hollywood is doing such a great job, and like there's finally something for them to stand united against, or for. You know what I mean? Not against, but for. And that's the equality of like this movie is important for young men. And like my thing to the people who say like, well, like that's not. It shouldn't be that important. It shouldn't be, this. I'm like, it must be nice then to be you, where you can watch any movie and see a character where you're like, oh, I can relate to that or that or that. This is for some of these kids in the the projects or the thing. This is the first time they're seeing a movie with someone that has their faith, and it's not just a slavery movie. It's not Martin Luther King or Malcolm X.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves.
No, it's so true, and I think.
Would you look it up? What is it?
No, I'm actually looking up. You bring up an interesting point about the culture, and one of my friends, Sam Arias, I post something that RB3 posted, and it was just the whole thing about Black Hollywood and like people getting behind this movie, and then they talk about Hancock and so on and so forth. And they're like, half of the movies about black people were Will Smith, Eddie Murphy. They were typecast and like so on and so forth. It was white produced movies,
and it was one black actor, with ensemble,
And so here this is what he said. In my opinion, Ben Shapiro sucks. He's missing the point of the original tweet. The film industry hasn't historically given much of a voice to the black community. In this movies, he's listed the black hero is usually perpetrating some sort of stereotype or is relevant to the plot only because of someone who is white in the story. Independence Day, Men in Black, Hancock, Will Smith.
Like wild card people, free runners, whatever you want to say. Like they're very exactly typecast. They're typecast.
Blackness doesn't really do anything for the character or the story.
Yep.
They could have just been a white guy. Mm-hmm. Black Panther is trying to be different. Disney and Marvel saw the opportunity to create a space for black artists to be in control of a story. Why does BET have to be the only one to do that, fund that kind of project? How come? And it's interesting because people go to that's like, well, they have a whole network for themselves.
And I think, and I'll give shout out to BET. They do a great job of, their content's great. Like that new edition story they just did was amazing for a TV guy. But like guys, like this is Hollywood. Like it's a whole different field. Like they don't got the money to produce movies like this. Could they do a Black Panther straight to TV? Of course they could. But it's not going to be done well, so why would they do it?
And think about the impact that this one's doing.
But again, they do great documentary pieces, guys. They do great movies. They did great
Ava
shows.
DuVernay. I mean,
like, come on, guys. Like, so let's give them credit where it was. Like, sorry they're not Fox and they can't produce a movie and a television station, but they're doing just fine the way they are. Like, they know what they are. They're fine.
So I know we don't.
And I'm just going to put on a side subject.
Please.
Maybe Hispanics could be next because, I'm just saying, like, we get kind of the shafted of everything where, we really have nothing besides drug cartels and illegals.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. Well, here's the one thing I will say. You want to talk about how important it is? How awesome was it? And like you and I weren't even doing a show then. We didn't even talk about it going into the movie. But Diego Luna throughout Rogue One and how important that really was.
He's the saving grace. He's the guy we're like, okay, like Michael Pena's been the comedy. Like we need you to be the guy though that's like in these serious roles. But that's a subject for a different show about Hispanic. That's a good show idea. Hispanic culture and Hollywood.
One of these days we'll hit into it. Maybe sometime in May.
It'll take 15 minutes, but we can get to it.
No, yeah, no
Antonio
kidding.
Banderas, people.
Yeah, right. No kidding. So, Alex, I know we don't do scores anymore, so obviously,
I think we should do scores in universes. Like if it's the Marvel universe, compare it only to Marvel universe. If it's DC, compare it only, or you can put superheroes together. I don't want to put superheroes with Star Wars.
Sure. All right.
Of thing. You know what I mean?
So like, if you want to do, why don't you go ahead and set it up then? Let's go ahead and your idea.
So in my superhero movie wise, the only 10 out of 10 movies there have ever been for me have been The Dark Knight and The Avengers. Or the only 10 out of 10, and Logan.
Okay.
Because I side note, I saw Logan again. It's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
it is
I've actually
as I
watched
remember.
it on HBO. Yeah.
So those are to me like every studio has their 10 out of 10. Fox has theirs. They have theirs. Everyone has their movie. This one falls to me right below it because I'm not gonna say like as great it was. Like no, Avengers is still amazing. Dark Knight was still Dark Knight. This is like a 9.5. This is on par with Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy. Where like it doesn't need to be perfect, but it's perfect right now. And I would say right now, like other than ensemble movies, this is probably my favorite Marvel movie. Like I like this better than Civil War. I like this better. Like this is probably my second favorite Marvel movie, right after Avengers.
I think this is a must-watch for anybody who, first of all, loves the Marvel Universe or anybody who just enjoys any type of action-packed movie that has very good storytelling and great acting with an ensemble cast. When it comes to the superhero realm, I'm exactly with you. There's only two movies. The holy grail of any movie, if you're in the MCU, is to be the Avengers.
The original Avengers, yes.
And then just in general, and I think we heard a good episode of the Cinephiles, shout out to them, about The Dark Knight.
Which is hands down probably the greatest superhero movie. And not not separating any studios.
It's
just like that's
the pinnacle.
Like I said, we wouldn't have Logan get an Oscar nom. We wouldn't have 10 nominees if Dark Knight didn't come out and say, wow, like superhero movies can be Oscar
Ledger,
movies.
what he did, and like we could talk about it's my favorite movie right next to one day it's Goodfellas, the next day it's The Dark Knight, so and The Godfather, so it's like those three movies are interchangeable for me. But this movie stands on its own when you talk about the movies that whether you love the universe, you hate the universe, if you need to buy a DVD, you don't buy DVDs. This is a standout movie and edition in this
like go out and buy Black Panther shit. Like
this is it.
Like I'm gonna get the pops, I'm gonna get the action figures, I'm gonna get the shirts, I'm gonna get the tank tops, I'm gonna get a necklace, I'm gonna get all of it.
February 16, 2018 is the equivalent of it was the summer of 2008. We're at the point where everything of the MCU is now when Black Panther officially cemented himself as a top tier player and a main event character. So
poor Disney, man, you have a lot to live up with now. Because like, if Infinity War is not as good as this, I'm gonna be upset. Because this is like you set up. Man, that's a hard opening act, y'all. Like you just threw Taker and Shawn before Triple H and Jericho. Like, damn, like I don't care how good it is. Like, it's gonna be man. That's hard.
I will say this though, you and I were talking about what our thoughts about Avengers was going to be after we saw Black Panther. You have to go into Avengers Infinity War now, very much knowing it's not going to be Black Panther. Whatever you loved about Black Panther, there's gonna be something different about this movie.
Maybe that's what's gonna help him. Is now you're like, I'm at least gonna get a good 15, 30 minutes in Wakanda. Black Panther,
and you're gonna be invested in Wakanda.
And now I'm even happier because I'm like, oh, now I know how badass she really is, and how badass that dude really is.
But there was almost a genius in putting Black Panther at this point because it's a palate cleanser. It was heavy. It was emotional.
I mean,
it was
Black
deep.
History Month. It was just everything that could go right went right, and that's why I said it's so weird to talk about it because like usually it's the opposite. Like you said, the weather was good. You know, obviously like things happened this week, but the country we live in now, that's not gonna stop the world. Like, unfortunately, look at every time this happens. Like, I know we didn't want to talk about it, but it kind of goes by faster and faster of like the rebound of like we're one day away from it, and like now
statistically every 2.5 days.
No one's really talking about it anymore because it happens so often that we're ready for the next one. And the weather's been great. It's Black History Month.
But there's good vibes about this movie.
Kendrick's wearing Michael the presentation, like everything that has been able to go right is going right.
And the counterculture, and the counterculture being so loud right now, where there is such a roar of, for some reason, the people anti-Black Panther. That just there's so much more love going against that too. That
that's good. Like if you didn't have any haters, it must not be good.
Yeah,
because you always want if people weren't hating on it, then the movie sucked. So no one hated on Catwoman.
All in all, I think it's fair to say we love this movie. This is the best movie you and I have seen since we started.
Where do you place it? Where do you place it on your list of MCU movies after Avengers? Obviously,
3.
So what do you have at 2?
Civil War.
Oh, you suck.
And at 4 is
God, Civil War is so overrated.
And at 4 is Winter Soldier. And at 5 is Iron Man. What do you got?
Avengers, Black Panther, Winter Soldier, Guardians, Iron Man. Because again, to me, I can't forgive Civil War for having not only a bad guy, but one of the worst bad guys in movies.
I can't. It gets all the bonus points for bringing in Spider-Man and it landing. And having those oh my god moments, and obviously having the introduction of
my expectations
Black
were
Panther.
I'm gonna get Avengers, and I would have got Avengers type of movie had you not snoozed the pooch. So like, and Mike, he wasn't bad, and we talked about this. He was terrible. Nothing about Baron Zemo makes sense or is attractive. Or
we're not arguing about our list.
I'm just saying, like, he gets me on a tangent with Baron Zemo, dude. The worst bad guy in MCU history. He's worse than the Elf.
Previews. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Obviously, go watch Black Panther. It's the best movie we've seen since we started this podcast. Alex, first preview I can think of right off the top is
The Incredibles.
We saw Incredibles 2. Looks so funny. I can't wait. Anybody who hates it because of Elastigirl, go kick rocks and pound sand.
Again, Mike, but like we had this argument last night, and we'll talk about it now. It's like you can't get personal with this stuff because had those originals. So what are the most universal love? Like Star Wars, verse 3. Like let's say Empire Strikes Back. Had Twitter been around when that happened,
you're right.
That movie be hated. Like that movie would have just as much hate comments.
They're
as
just
good
terrorists.
comments.
They just represent.
Like no one cares. Like that's why I don't care. Like I don't get into that because I'm like people are just you're gonna find something that you're gonna do it for the likes. You're gonna do it for the retweets of like.
That's a good point.
What's the most offensive thing I said today? Like you don't even like we didn't even get it over a preview. Now when I saw it, man, that's pretty fucking adorable. Look at the little.
I love the trailer that they showed, like especially the
can't keep giving him a cookie.
Slapping.
I love
Mr.
it.
Incredible. Yeah.
Don't bite daddy.
Yeah, no, don't bite daddy, and he's all mad. Yeah, it's a great one.
It's a great trailer, like, and we didn't really see much. Like, I love Dash. She's like, it's my calling, and I just love the way he looks. I'm like, wait, what?
What? Yeah, it's so good.
It's so real. Like Bob Odenkirk is so great too.
All right,
I loved it. It was great.
We finally got a Venom trailer. You and I were both kind of wrong.
Our man crush of Tom Hardy.
But we did not see him in the Venom suit,
which is good. We should don't like. This is the first time a trailer's gone out and not giving us everything right away. Because Pacific Rim trailers came out. We're not going to talk about it because we don't really.
It was all right. Well, I did see it looks all right.
We saw the first one. It was fine.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's funny. Like they're giving away so much.
Yeah. And
I'm like, this movie, like, it's first trailer. I'm glad they're not giving away a lot because, like, I don't want to. Like, if you had said, "Here's Venom, here Carnage," I'm like, wow, like, okay, thanks, Doomsday. Like, I'm glad I saw him right away.
What about Deadpool? Deadpool looks really funny. It looks like they're right on
great.
Yeah.
It's kind of like The Incredibles, where like I expected it to be that great. Yeah. So as long as it didn't live it down, I'm good.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, it was funny. I like the marketing. Obviously, Deadpool is funny because they know what works and they're just doing what works. And I can't. Good for you. You know what's work. You know I'm gonna buy it anyway.
No, it's very good. Any last thoughts? Any trailers that stuck out to you?
Solo should get a new trailer. I'm pumped for Solo still. Like now we're getting pictures and videos.
May
and,
is so stacked, Alex.
Like that's another thing. I was sitting next to Nicole in the theater last night, like breaking the fourth wall, guys. Like we do hate each other somewhat.
WrestleMania.
So we're sitting next to each other the whole time. And every time a movie, like our tradition, every time a movie comes out, we'll like talk like, yeah, we'll see that. Now that looks fucking sucks, dude. So like there was a couple movies like The Strangers 2, like I don't want to see. Like
I'll go see
like,
it.
No,
I'm the only one who was excited. I'm like, I was like a homer when he gives up the thumbs up to Lisa.
And like no one else, like and like there was so many movies I'm looking at. I'm like, yep, gotta see Rampage. Yep, gotta see Ant-Man. Yep, gotta see that one too.
I'm so excited.
Gotta see Solo.
I'm so excited.
Gotta see. I'm like, fuck, we're gonna spend a lot of money in the movies, aren't we?
I'm so hyped.
Like what? So what's the next movie? I'm trying to think.
I think A Quiet Place.
Was that March?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but I'm trying to opening night. I'm saying because we could probably see that the next day or the weekend.
When's Jurassic World? We did a whole show about
like
this.
July, Mike.
Yeah.
There's just so many. Is it really 420? Like, is that the next one?
That's Rampage and Super Troopers.
Like, is that the day? Like, is that the one? Is that the next one?
Probably.
And then Solo, and then Avengers. There's nothing in March. World. You know what it was? Pacific Rim was the March one, and I'm just not sold on seeing it at theaters at the moment because, like, I love
John Boyega.
John Boyega, and I'm just like. I don't know. Like, I like Charlie Hunnam and I like Idris Elba. No Charlie Hunnam and Idris Elba.
Jags.
Like, no Jags or Idris Elba. I'm a little upset. Like, I don't know.
Before we get out of here, Dum, why don't we talk about you, Darvish, joining our Chicago Cubs?
Yeah, we're pretty much going to win a championship now.
I do not know. I had my my season ticket draft today.
Did you?
We are all set.
Where are we going? What game am I got?
You got the one that you
I
buy
get
on
a shitty ass game usually.
You will get it. I have an April game. I have a May game. I have September game.
But I'm the only one that goes to opening day every single year. So I'm pretty much the team's lucky charm. So if I'm not there opening day, I don't think the guys really play as well. I have not seen the Cubs lose opening day yet. Knock on wood. I saw the banner raising, and Mike's like super jealous of it. I got the ticket in my little jar over there of like seeing the first championship enter Wrigley ever. So that's kind of cool. I'm a bigger Cubs fan. So you don't know what game I got?
All right, so
am I gonna get the Reds again? Because I get the Reds like every year.
I have Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Miami, Milwaukee.
Wow, dude! Like, are you like the shit list of it? Like, do you get the
Milwaukee versus the Cubs is gonna be the division race.
Yeah, but can we get a goddamn Dodgers or Nationals?
No, you don't have to pay for the tickets. That'll do it for us guys on this episode, though. While you guys are listening to Alex complain about my bank account and the fact that I can't afford more.
And he doesn't like to day drink. Like, I'm sorry, 7 a.m. is too early for Jack Daniels, Mike.
You can follow us everywhere in the universe. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. I'm at Mercado2333. Subscribe to us on iTunes, iTunes.com/Mercado Airwaves. We're on SoundCloud, SoundCloud.com/Mercado Airwaves. Every one of our shows and interviews are brought to you by our amazing producers at Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you have a brand you want to show to a huge, diverse audience, check us out at Patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. For the good brother, Alex Mercado, what do you have to say to the people?
When in doubt, Merc out.
All right, you don't have a bad one this week?
No, that's a good one, right?
That was a good one.
That's like the go-to one.
You're awful. You've had some awful,
You're just mad because I'm the king of Wakanda.
Wakanda forever.
That's what the X means. So, yeah, now I'm going to steal it.
Thanks, guys, for listening to another episode of The Good Brothers here on Mercado Airwaves.
Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves.